Yo people, it's your boy Richard Morse back at it again with another match preview, and this time it's Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth away at Selhurst Park, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, this one's going to be an interesting one, lads. I won't be able to go to the game, so I will be doing a watch-along for the game. So yeah, I've been to Selhurst Park a couple of times. It's always a good ground to go to, but unfortunately, because it's Easter weekend and I've got shit going on the next couple of days, I can't make it, so I had to sell my ticket, but it is what it is. And yeah, going into this game, Crystal Palace, it's never an easy game for Bournemouth. We always seem to find, I don't know, it's a little bit of a struggle for us, I find. It's one of those games where we go in there with expectations of we could actually get something out of this game, but then out of nowhere, it just never seems to come. We either seem to get like a draw or we just don't turn up at all. I remember maybe like 2 seasons ago, we went to Selhurst Park, but I think by the time we went there, we had pretty much guaranteed ourselves like safety from relegation, so it didn't really matter the result. I don't think we turned up at all. We were pretty much on the beach at that point. So yeah, and going into this game, Palace have been really on point recently. I know they lost to Man City in the FA Cup, but that first half, they absolutely destroyed Man City. And if they can do that to Man City, then God knows what they can do to us. And yeah, for us, I know we got the win against Fulham, but Christ, that second half against Fulham wasn't really fun to watch, to be brutally honest. It was pretty much down to the wire, and we only just scraped it through, really. And that's against Fulham, so Fulham and Palace are kind of on the same level. If we can barely get through Fulham, we're really going to struggle with Palace, because Palace knocked them out the FA Cup. So yeah, that's the thing we got to take into account. I know Palace have to play 2 games this week, and maybe that can play into our favour, but sometimes it doesn't always tend to go our way either. Sorry about that, I've glitched out a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't always go in our favour. Being the first one out of the 2 fixtures always usually means they're going to play the strongest against us and they'll play the weaker team in the second game. So that's not looking good for us. Yeah, in terms of win probability, Google actually is giving us ironically, 1% chance more than Palace of winning this game. So it means we could possibly get a win out of this, according to Google, which let's be honest, don't trust Google anyway. Yeah, in terms of starting team, I think it's pretty much going to be the same team against Fulham. I can't see there being any changes at all. Like, pretty much happy with the lineup as it was. I can't see us making any recent changes. I think we still need to stick with Scott as our main sort of cam and then bring on Tav second half. I still think he needs a little bit more time to get back into full match fitness. I feel like maybe after the Palace game, maybe swap Scott for Tav. But the rest of the team, yeah, just keep them as they are. I can't see a reason not to. Kepa made some great saves. Evan Nilsson was very unlucky not to get a second goal for our game against Fulham. But, you know, that was his first time he hadn't scored a goal for us in a long time. So I'll give him some slack. I'm not going to crucify him for that. And yeah, in terms of score prediction, based on what I've seen in recent seasons, I reckon it's either going to be a draw or, unfortunately, I can see it possibly being lost. I'd love to think we can get a win, and maybe we can, but with their run of form recently and the fact they've got to play 2 games as well, I think they're going to really go all out for us and then maybe take the next game not as serious, because it's against Arsenal, who've just beaten Real Madrid home and away. So I think for them, this is the one that they really think they can get points out of, so they're probably going to put their strongest team against us. So they're going to have Eze, Mateta, SARR, all the ones that have been giving them the points this season. They're going to put that one against us and maybe play a weaker team because they got the FA Cup coming up after that. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. Selhurst Park is always a weird ground for us. It's always a bit of a bogey one. We go in there with the expectation of we could get a point or we should get 3 points. And then a lot of the times we end up coming out with no points at all. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, lads. I'll be doing a live watch along, so come follow me on YouTube and TikTok if you haven't already. If you're new here, please leave a like, share and subscribe down below. Give me a comment on what you think the score prediction is going to be. Do you think we have a chance in this game, or do you think it's one of those where we'll hope for the best? If we don't get anything, it is what it is. In terms of European football, also comment down below. Do you think we still have a chance to get European football? Or do you think with the recent fixtures and the last ones we have left, it's probably unlikely? I think, to be really honest, if we are going to get European football, we do have to kind of win this match, because we got Arsenal, Villa and Manchester City coming up, where let's be honest, I'm not really expecting much out of those 3 fixtures. I know we've beaten those teams and gotten a draw out of Villa before, early on in the season, but that was a completely different thing. We were so much better in the start to the mid of the season. This team now, it's very you're not quite sure who's going to turn up and what team is going to turn up. We could have a team that was at the start and the middle of the season where we were flying, or we're going to have the team that we've had recently where we've been so flat, it's almost embarrassing to watch. So, yeah, I'm not really going into this game with, like, this big up chest and, yeah, we're going to get 3 points out of this one. That's easy work. Like, no. If you've been watching a lot of these recent games or gone to a lot of these recent games, you know that it's not a guarantee we're going to get 3 points or even a draw at the moment. So we got to take the wins and the draws when we can and just move on to the next game. We've only got, like, what, six games left of the season. And, yeah, we'll just see where we go. Like, I'm not, like, really going to lose too much sleep if we don't get Europe. I feel like it's still... To be pretty honest, I feel like it's still a long way, a little bit too much of a step for us. I feel like maybe if we just miss out on it this season, come back next season, go for it again, I think we'll be in a much better position for it, really. I feel it's still a little bit too early for us to be in Europe, to be brutally honest. But if we get it, we get it, and we'll do our best with it. But I feel like I'm worried it's going to be like when Newcastle went into Champions League, where it's great, but then you're seeing your team get pumped every week in the Champions League, and it ends up killing your season in the Premier League. I just don't want that to happen to us. I would love European football, but if it means that we're just going to be seeing ourselves get battered every week in European football on a Thursday or Tuesday or whenever, and ends up affecting our Premier League form where we could possibly end up getting relegated for it, then no. I'd rather just stick to the Prem, try again next season, and go from there. And yeah, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's pretty much all I've got to say on this game. There's not really much more to say. We're out the FA Cup, League Cup's already done. Like, all we got to do is keep going with the Premier League games and see how we do. And that's all we can say, really. I know, obviously, with like the recent rumours of Kerkez and Housen and all these players going, I do worry that they've kind of mentally checked out a little bit. I just feel like Kerkez is a done deal. Housen's going, but it just depends where he's going. Semenyo is a little bit like, not really much has been heard about Semenyo. I think he may be waiting to get to the end of the season and then figure out what he's going to do from there. And if he goes, can't really blame him. More the merrier to him, I guess. That's all I can say to him. Good luck to him. And yeah, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this match preview. Thank you for watching my match preview. I've been your boy Richard Morse of the Cherries, and I'll catch you on my watch along. See you later.